ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतः पदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविष्णुकान्वितांश्च नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वतीदेवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत श्री राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि श्री गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण। We are continuing our discussion on Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, verse 15 onwards. Yesterday, uh, we tried to discuss verse 11 to 14, where we saw the fools who cannot understand Krishna, who don't connect with the Krishna, different levels of people who are trying to connect. Uh, and there are Mahatmas who can understand Krishna very clearly. So, verse 11 and 12, they spoke about people who cannot understand uh, Krishna and their destination also. We saw what is their destinations. Everything is baffled in the verse 11 and 12. And then 13 and 14, those devotees who are completely uh, absorbed in Krishna and Krishna's glories. As Ananya Bhakta, they are constantly in rendering devotional service to Krishna. And now the 15th onwards, the 15th verse speaks about the people who fall in between the category, in between the two extremes, one who don't understand Krishna, one who are deeply devoted to Krishna. And this 15th verse gives some more clarity on who all are the in-between people. And here we will introduce the word ekatvena, pratatvena, bahudha vishwato mukham. So these are the three kind of seed concepts which are explained further also in this chapter and in the next chapters also. So ekatvena, pratatvena, bahudha vishwato mukham. So vishwato mukham is okay. I'll start the verse and then I'll speak about it. And then further, after the this verses comes from 15th verse will speak about the concept. Then 16, 17, 18, 19. These four verses will explain more on Vishwato Vishwarupa Upasana, where about more detail about how Lord is worshipped through Vishwarup, that is explained. And then after that, 20 to 28, that will explain about uh, demigod upasana, demigod worship, that is pratika upasana. So these terms. Angra that will come in the next verse. So today we'll try to cover this verse from 15 to 21 section. So sharing the PowerPoint. What happened? The slide. Just a minute. It's taking time to make it full screen. So we saw impersonalist mistakes Krishna's body as material, who cannot understand Krishna properly. And 13, 14 we saw the Keval Bhaktas. And 15th verse we are seeing now. This is the 15th verse. So Baldev Bhushan tells about having spoken of the devotees known as Mahatmas who have a predominance of pure bhakti in the form of chanting and other processes, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, and who are fixed on the pure form of the Lord. Krishna now speaks other devotees who have a predominance of jnana, with a process of bhakti as a chanting as a secondary action. So here the emphasis on the trying to have understanding about Krishna. It's not Ananya Bhaktas, but they are like having some more emphasis on jnana than the process of chanting. That is Baldevidya Bhushan says. So 15th verse. Jnana yagyena chapyante yajanto mamupasate ekatvena pruthatvena bahuda vishwato mukham. Would like to read translation. Okay.
Others who engage in sacrifice by the cultivation of knowledge worship the Supreme Lord as the one without a second, as diverse in many and in the universal form.
Yes. Hmm. Others, others means apart from these two categories. First two categories is one who cannot understand Krishna, and second category is one who are completely in devotion with Krishna. Hmm. So others, apart from these two categories, who engages in sacrifices by cultivation of knowledge, worshipping the Supreme Lord as one without second. Hmm. Jnana yagyena chapyante yajanto mam upasate. They are worshipping by cultivation of the knowledge. How? Ekatvena, one without second. Pruthatvena, as diverse in many. And Bahuda Vishwatomukham, that is the universal form. So these three things are there: Ekatvena, Pruthatvena, Bahuda Vishwatomukham. So uh, the concept here explained is, in general, people are attracted by something big, something great. Uh, they want to see something big, something very great. And that greatness It was some problem today also. I don't know why. Yeah. Yeah. So people in general, they are more. Haribol, I'm audible, bro. You are able to hear me?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. My computer. I need something to maybe prepare. Yeah. So I'll continue. So people in general are attracted to something great. So people, when they live in this material creation, they have understanding about this material world. When they see the greatness, anything great, they feel something nice. They bow down to that. So when people start looking something great around, they look for the something great and they find the universe is the greatest actually, The big thing is that they feel. And then they get really attracted to the universal understanding that, yeah, something great is that universe. They start thinking about galaxies and stars and how things will be there. But after that, then they start thinking about, oh, somebody must be controlling it. So then, more than the size, they think that who is controlling that size. They become more interested in the controllers. And then the third level comes, that is beyond the controller also. There is something who is uh, managing that controllers also. So that is like beyond that also, the supreme. So like that, general thinking of a people they develop in general understanding. So Srila Prabhupada also gives this clarity, and the purport he says that these three categories are there. One who worships himself as one with the supreme. So the Ekatvana means he worships himself as a supreme. That he thinks that why he thinks himself as a supreme, not as a body, but because he tried to understand that I'm not the body, I'm the soul, and I'm connected to the supreme. Therefore, he is not Mayavad exactly, but it is something he's thinking more beyond bodily concept of the life. And then the second one is he thinks that there are many forms, that is demigod worship. And then third one, he thinks about the universal form of the Lord. So Prabhupada mentions out of above three, the lowest, those who worship themselves as the Supreme Lord, thinking themselves to be the monist, are the most predominant. Such people thinks themselves to be the Supreme Lord, and in this mentality, they worship themselves. Hmm. So this is also one type of God worship, it is said. So they don't focus on the material body, but they focus on the spiritual soul aspect of the personality. Uh, and second thing is, uh, second class includes the worship of the demigods, those who by imagination consider many forms to be the form of the Supreme Lord. So they think that those controllers are there. The one who is controlling the rain, one who is controlling the wind, one who is controlling the uh, water bodies, one who is controlling the planets. All these things, they think that, okay, this is the demigods. They are second Prabhupada mentions. And third thing, the third class includes those who cannot conceive anything beyond the manifestation of this material universe. Hmm. They just think that material universe is the biggest thing in the whole creation. So in this way, three different levels Prabhupada mentions about hierarchy in these concepts. So ekatvena, uh, pruthatvena, and bahuda vishutomukham. So ekatvena is also called as ahangro upasana. Ahangro upasana. So that is ekatvena. They think that I am this supreme, and they focus on themselves, and then they try to meditate on themselves to realize the supreme Lord. And the demigod worship with the pruthatvena, that is also called as uh, pratikopasana. Pratiko upasana. There one is divided into many, that is pratika upasana. And the third one, that is Vishwarupa upasana. That is the third one, Vishwatomukham, that is Vishwarupa upasana. So in this way, these three concepts. So now the next verse 16, before going to 16, we'll go to this purport, what Prabhupada mentions here, that Ekatvena, worship himself as one with the Supreme. And this is the lowest and most predominant. And what is their destination? Again, the same. Either they are impersonalists, they don't understand Krishna properly, or they fall in the category of Mogasha, Moga Karmano, Moga Jnana Vichetasa. So everything is baffled. So why it is called as Ekatvena is considering God worship, because at least they have a sense that we are not the material body, but we are spirit soul. That is the only concept. And here there is another concept cleared, that they are different than Mayavadis. They are not Mayavadis because they are focusing on their self, and they are not offending to the Krishna. Uh, so what is the offense towards Krishna? Thinking Krishna's form is material. So these people, they don't think that Krishna's form is material. To falsely think that one need to go to beyond the Krishna's personal form to attain the impersonal Brahman. So that is the Mayavadi's thought, and therefore they offend the Supreme Lord. But this Ahangropasana, they don't offend the Lord. Second one is Pruthaktveena Bahuda. So they concord some form of the Supreme and worship that form. Includes demigod worship also. And that will be more discussed from 21st to 25th, and it goes a little beyond also till 28. And third one is Vishwotomukham. They accept the universal form as the Supreme, best of all the three, Prabhupada mentions, and considers universe as to be supreme organism and worships that supremacy. Cannot conceive anything beyond this material manifestation. So that is discussed in next 16th verse. Aham kratur aham yajna swadaham aham aushadham mantroham aham E.A.S.Y aham agnir aham hutam. Want to read? Devesh Prabhu.
But it is I who am the ritual, I the sacrifice, the offering to the ancestors, the healing herb, the transcendental chant. I am the butter and the fire and the offering.
Yes. So here,
Your screen is stuck.
stuck up. 1 minute.
Yes, Priji, it is on 9.15 verse.
Oh, you didn't go ahead? How come? On my screen it is going ahead. Yeah,
You
but
can
for you.
reshare.
Huh?
You can reshare.
Okay, I'll reshare it. Stop it. I understood it is overloaded. My computer is overloaded. I need to do that. Some space adjustment. Now it has come to 16, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yes, Priji.
So aham kratur aham yagyam sudaham aham aushadam mantroham aham E.A.S.Y aham agnir aham hutam. So it is I who am the ritual, I the sacrifice. Krishna is saying that sacrifices I am, rituals are also I am the same ritual, offering to the ancestor, that also I am, healing herb, that also I am, transcendental chant, that also I am, and what you offer as a butter and a fire, and the offering itself, everything is I am. So here Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, how one can worship you as a Vishwarup in many ways, Bahuda. So that Lord is explaining in these verses in response to that. The Vedic sacrifice Karma Kanda division are in total also Krishna. So Karma Kanda, if properly followed, then naturally he will get elevated in his understanding about Krishna. He will come to the supreme understanding, because in all yagyas, again, yagyas are incomplete without using the mantra chant for Lord Vishnu. So then when person performs such yagyas regularly, then he comes to the higher understanding that no, I need to also, the Supreme Lord Vishnu is the supreme most to be pleased. So Prabhupada mentions in the purport that those in devotional service are to be understood to have performed all sacrifices recommended in the Vedas. So it is little difficult for us to understand, but that is how is the reality. This is the reality. Sometimes we feel that people are not able to properly pronounce also things properly. Now, when especially after coming and connecting to the Hare Krishna's movement or Srila Prabhupada's transcendental movement, people may not have clarity about Veda and Vedic literatures very clearly, but still they are chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. But the point is, in the previous lives, they have gone through all the process. They may not be remembering long, but they are understanding the essences that taking to the devotional service, that is the highest most form. So those who are elevated personalities in their understanding, in their practice of yagya, jnana, tapa, they will certainly pick to the process of devotional services with their own internal conviction, because Krishna in the heart will inspire them to take to that. So Prabhupada mentions that rituals, the Vedic sacrifices known as Jyotishtama is also Krishna, and the sacrifice Mahayagya mentioned in the Smriti is also Krishna. The oblations for the forefather, Krishna, and the fire, one of the material element. It is a separated energy of the Lord. That is also Krishna. So here, one good thing we see, like this verse before also came in the previous chapter, that is Brahmagnor, Brahmahavir, Brahmano Hutam, that verse talks about. So there it is said that everything is Brahman, Brahma Agni, Brahma Havi, everything is Brahman, like that it is mentioned. But here what is mentioned? Aham Kratur, Aham Yagyam, Soda Aham. So now there was everything was Brahman, but here everything is Aham Aham. So the thought process of Bhagavad Gita is more progressive from Brahman understanding towards to the now coming to the Krishna is telling about himself, Aham. So that is one thought process clarification it comes. Yeah. The next verse. पितामहस्य जगतो माता धाता पितामह वेद्य पवित्र ओंकारं ऋक्सामयजुरेव च. Translation.
I am
Yeah.
the father. I am the father of this universe, the mother, the support, and the grandsire. I am the object of knowledge, the purifier, and the syllable Om. I am also the rigor, the Sama, and the Yajur Vedas.
Yes. So पिता अहम अस्य जगतो माता धाता पितामहम. I am the father, pitaham asya, father of this universe. Mata, mother. Dhata, supporter. Pitamaha, grandfather, grandsire. Vedyam pavitram omkaram. Vedya pavitram omkaram. What is to be known as a purifying agent, that also is Krishna. Vedyam pavitram. Omkaram is syllable Om amongst all the mantras. Rik, Sam, and Yajur, all these three Vedas, they all are Krishna only. Krishna is mentioning. So here, concept of father, I am, mother, I am. So similarly, there is a one people keep saying Matru Devo Bhava, Pitru Devo Bhava. So Matru Devo Bhava, Pitru Devo Bhava does not mean that Mata and father becomes the Pita or the spiritual Deva. So if they are the Deva, then it is wrong understanding. But understanding is that Krishna is manifesting, Krishna is representing himself through them. That is the correct understanding. So this is, every time it is mentioned, when some vibhutis are explained properly, those vibhutis, through them we can access the Krishna. Just like in 10th chapter also many vibhutis will come. 7th chapters also some vibhuti we saw. So those vibhutis are there. Bhumi Rapo, no, not Bhumi Rapo. Annad, no, what is that verse? Uh, Seventh verse, anybody can remind me about uh, taste of water, no? I am the taste of water. Rasoham apsu kaunte, prabhasmi sashishuryo. All those aspects. Or in the 10th chapter also will come many now. Uh, Kavi Naam, Ushana, Kameen, on all those opulences, vibhutis particularly, they will be mentioned. That through them we understand that Krishna is actually manifesting through all of them. That is the clear understanding about it. So here in the purport Prabhupada mentions the entire cosmic manifestation, moving and non-moving, are manifested by different activities of Krishna's energy. Little bewildering here, but try to understand now. In the material existence, we create different relationship with different living entities who are nothing but Krishna's marginal energy under the creation of Prakriti. Some of them appears as our father, mother, grandfather, creator, etc. But actually they are parts and parcel of Krishna. So here we get a clarity about Achintya Bheda Tattva of the Supreme Lord. So Krishna is manifesting through these different aspects and the vibhutis. So next verse. Yeah, of course, one important highlight Prabhupada mentions that Krishna is actually the underlying thread between all relationships. Krishna has all the relationships. In the material existence, we create different relationship with different living entities who are nothing but Krishna's marginal energy. Under the creation of Prakriti, some of them appear as our father, mother, grandfather, creator, but actually they are all part and parcel of Krishna. So, in the whole cosmic manifestation, things are manifesting to us, and we identify that manifestation as our real one. But we forget one who has created it. Like just like in our this particular current life, we have set of our relatives, set of our society, set of our nationality, and we identify very strongly with that. But this set of relatives or society people or the nation or in the whole creation, that is manifesting through Krishna only. But we are not identifying with Krishna, but we are identifying strongly with the parts and parcel of Krishna. So that is how we are unable to see the real connection with the Krishna. And actually is reminded here, Krishna is telling that actually I am that. Your Pata, your Mata, Pita, Dhata, everything I am. So amongst the all Mata, Dhata, Pita, Krishna is the underlying thread. And he's a creator also, he's a purifier also. And amongst the all Vedic knowledge, Omkar also is a Krishna. And amongst all the Vedas are also Krishna. That is Rik Sam Yajur Evacha. Further he mentioned ahead. Gatir Prabhu Sakshi Nivasah Sharanam Srut Prabhavah Pralaya Sthanam Nidhanam Bijam Avyayam. Translation. Abhishek Prabhu.
I am the goal, the sustainer, the master, the witness, the abode, the refuge, and the most dear friend. I am the creation and the annihilation, the basis of everything, the resting place, and the eternal seed.
Yes. Gatir. What is Gati? When Radha Gopinath was telling one very nicely. Mati our Mati should be in such a way that our Rati increases to get a Gati of our life. So Rati, Mati, and Gati. So Gati is the goal, the final destination. Bharta, that is sustainer. Who is the sustainer? Prabhu, Supreme Lord. Sakshi is a witness. Nivasha, that is abode of the Lord. The abode is also Lord. Sharanam, that is the refuge, the shelter. Srut, the most intimate friend. Prabhavaha, that is creation. Pralaya, dissolution. And Sthanam, that is the ground where everything is established. Nidhanam, the resting place. And Bijam, the seed. And Avyayam, imperishable. In one way, this is the like definition of God, we can say. We generally say God. God means generator, operator, or destroyer. But here also, we can see everything is Krishna only. So, nice verse to uh, meditate on Krishna. Hmm. Because many people have many gatis. Somebody want to go to good post in the society. Somebody want to go to the good post in the uh, national level. Somebody want to take gati as a final as I want to go to Europe or America. Somebody want to go to the moon planet. But all these different gatis are temporary gatis. The permanent final gati is the one who takes to the proper shelter of the Supreme Lord actually. Otherwise, different destination, even to the demigods planets. Somebody go beyond the universe, this world, our three in a material sphere. He goes to the uh, celestial sphere, demigod sphere. But after going that also again, people will fall down because the demigod themselves also are not very permanent. So they are also the manifestation of Krishna only. That is only teaching us how to move forward towards the Krishna if we are going to the demigods also. So therefore, such kind of approach to the Param Gati, supreme destination, is called as indirect approach. So better have direct approach. Prabhupada gives example of staircase and elevator. So when you have big building like our Vedic ashram, somebody is coming by staircase, climbing step by step, but somebody is coming by elevator. It is very fast. You can go very fast. Gati. Sustainer. Because everything is resting on Krishna. So here we see uh, Urdo Mula Madhoshaka, how it is given very nicely. This tree is there, and the reflection of the tree is there below here. So here Radha Krishna is there, and their wonderful Sakhis are serving. But in opposite here, there's a trying to have a romance, but having fights also. It's the material aspect of it. There are some sports also. Krishna also has sports. So all the rasas are explained here, no? Shantavasa, Sakya, Dasalya. But they are exactly opposite and full of miseries actually. So Krishna is actually the basis because we forgot the original relationship with Krishna. We have been given this temporary relationship here and where we get frustrated. So Krishna is a real master, supreme ruler, and everything belongs to him. He is also witness. Hmm. Witness, Prabhupada mentions in the Bhagavatam, uh, there are many witnesses. Person may think that I am doing things which are nobody is observing, but actually witnesses are everybody is there. Witnesses around, like Bhagavatam 6th canto. सूर्योऽग्निखं मुहुर्देवः सोमः सन्ध्यायानि दिशः किं कः स्वयं धर्म इति हि एते देहस्य संक्षिणः. The sun, fire, sky, air, demigods, moons, everything, day, night, evening, day, moon, night, directions, water, land, supersoul himself, all witnesses the activities of a living entity. Similarly, in other lyric literature also it is mentioned that sun, moon, wind, fire, sky, earth, water, heart, yamaraj, day, night, sunrise, sunset, as well as dharma, the super soul, knows the act of a man. So one has to be careful while uh, doing his activities that it is being observed in our creation. Nobody can think that I am independent. Actually, he's dependent and he's been observed and he's been watched and he's been uh, noted by some superior powers. So that is witness. And also, Lord is abode, the residence. Uh, I said our residence also is abode, our countries or planets, that also is another residence. And ultimate goal of our shelter. And he's a Surut, the best friend. Hmm. There cannot be any person better friend than the Supreme Lord Himself. So this is nice verse to always meditate on, to always think on. So we see how the great personalities, they always see the things around, and they becomes immediately uh, see how Krishna is operating through them. Like Srila Prabhupada, when he was going on Jaladuta to America, while going, he could see that nice arrangements were there for his vegetable and a nice, although people were non-vegetarian there, but a lot of vegetables and things were available. So Srila Prabhupada is saying that, uh, I am very thankful to Krishna for inspiring Srimati Morarji to make all such arrangements. So a devotee of the Lord, he sees that everything is arranged by Krishna only. But at the same time, he doesn't become callous to the people who are involved. He will thank to them also properly. He will become grateful to them. They become an instrument of Krishna's compassion, concern, or for us. So we respect and we thank them also. So this is how Prabhupada was expressing that gratitude towards Lord Krishna and Sumati Morarji also. So similarly, we also in our life, sometimes some person helps us. Maybe we go to some doctor and we get a very good doctor who is giving nice medicine, our health is recovering. He becomes very grateful to him. So we should certainly become grateful to him, but we should understand actually Krishna is operating through him. Some person helps us in some crisis situation, and we feel very obliged to that person that my God, this person really saved me from this problem. Yeah, wonderful. We should express that gratitude, but also see that Krishna actually is inspiring him to help me in this regard. Hmm. So these are the some positive aspects of Krishna's reciprocation. Uh, Now in the 19th verse, some kind of negative situations also will get to see. That also is Krishna only. Hmm. Tapyamaham tapamyaham aham varsham nigrahanyam ch amritam chaiva mrityuscha sadasatchaham arjunam. Translation.
O
Would you like to?
Arjuna, I give heat and I with I withhold and send forth the rain. I am immortality and I am also death personified. Both spirit and matter are in me.
Yes. So heat I am, tapamyaham. So we get to see, no, many times the now June month is coming up, and May June month will come and it will be so hot. Things around will be very difficult to accept things. Till now we were just covering our bodies with so many woolen clothes, and now we will want to remove all the clothes. So tapamiham. Aham Varsham. Then afterwards, rain also will come. Lot of rain. Sometimes so much rain comes. In this part of our Uttar Pradesh, we don't have so many rains as they have in Assam, or sometimes they have in the south, some of the coastal region, very heavy rains. But all that is also coming from Krishna only. This is also negative aspect, although it may be coming in negative way, but a devotee see both positive, negative coming from Krishna only, and he accepts gratefully. Just like Srila Prabhupada's life also, devotees can mute themselves. So just we see, in case of Srila Prabhupada, he could appreciate when he was in Kolkata. That time there was Second World War was going on, and Japanese were attacking on Kolkata, and the missiles were coming. And Prabhupada was there. Prabhupada was offering bhoga to the Lord, and when bombs were dropping, Prabhupada said, bomb is Krishna only. Bomb is Krishna only. So, not that Japanese are inspired by the Krishna devotees. Adarsh, can you put this on mute?
Yes, was muted.
Thank you. So, others, Japanese, not that Japanese are inspired by Krishna, but he sees the things, every karmic actions and reactions also are organized and uh, under the direction of Krishna is happening. So this is how he sees. Prabhupada mentions in the purport, Krishna, by his different energies, diffuses heat and light through the energy of agency of electricity and sun. During summer season, it is Krishna who checks rain from falling from the sky. And during the rainy season, he gives unceasingly torrents of rain. The energy which sustains us by prolonging the duration of life is Krishna. And Krishna meets us at the time of uh, end of our life, that is death. So the prolonged duration also is Krishna, and death also is Krishna. So in that way, person sees all situation and becomes always grateful. Therefore, the Bhagavad path, the path of devotional service is amazing because when he sees in this way proper Krishna in all spheres of life, he can still feel connected to Krishna. Like in Srila Prabhupada's life, when in Lucknow his factory was burnt out, and he just laughed. Who can laugh at this situation? Only person who can have direct connection with the or nice connection with the Supreme, that is Supreme Lord Krishna. So their person can relate very nicely that yes, this after all temporary, and what was given to me by Lord is taken away by the Lord. So that is the Bhagavad aspect of it. So after telling this way, then now he talks about Pratikopasana, 20th verse onwards. Uh, so those Acharyas gives nice understanding here. Uh, okay, this I just covered. Ultimate control of the universal controller, demigods are acting on his behalf. Those who are remember, I am immortality. For those who forget, I am the death. Prabhupada gives example of cat for kitten and cat for the rat. So death, when it comes, those who are dependent on the Lord, for them it becomes a way to go back to Godhead. So they are eagerly waiting for a death. And for those who are uh, fearful, like a rat, not like a kitten. Kitten, she feels very happy, sad, safe in the mouth of cat. But a rat is very much afraid. So the person who cannot appreciate Krishna, then he feels that death has come. But in both the ways, Krishna comes. So here says, Lord Krishna is both matter and spirit. In advanced stage of consciousness, one can see Krishna in everything. So he doesn't see Krishna, everything is Krishna, but he says everything is part and parcel and connected to Krishna. Here the Prabhuji Mataji, they are thinking about the universal form and they're thinking that Krishna is beyond that. So that is their understanding. All the universe is there, beyond that Vaikuntha planets are there, and beyond that Krishna is there who is controlling everything around. So having described the qualities of his devotees, in order to give a further understanding of them, he contract contrast them with those who are averse to the Lord in these two verses. So those who are able to see Lord everywhere, but now he will talk about the people who are not directly worshipping the Lord, but they are worshipping some through some agency, indirect worship. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, those who worship through the above three methods get liberated, but those who follow the material karma don't. This is explained in the two verses. So two different ways of seeing, how the connecting with the Supreme Lord, two different acharyas giving a two different understanding. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur saying that those who worship in this way, above methods, they get liberated. But those who don't, they remain in the material world only. So, and Baldev Vidyabhushan says, uh, give more understanding, he contrasts for those who cannot be liberated in the next two verse. So 20th verse speaks about त्रैविद्यमां सोमपः पूतपापा यज्ञैरिष्ट्वा सर्गतिं प्रार्थयन्ते ते पुण्यमासाद्य सुरेन्द्रलोकम् अश्नन्ति दिव्यान् दिवि देव भोगान्. And 21st verse also connected is there. ते तं भुक्त्वा सर्गलोकं विशालं क्षीणे पुण्ये मर्त्यलोकं विशन्ति एवं त्रयीधर्म अनुप्रपन्ना गतागतं काम कामा लभन्ते. Translation Indranil Group. Both you can read.
Yes, Prabhuji. Those who study the Vedas and drink the Soma juice, seeking the heavenly planets, worship me indirectly. Purified of sinful reactions, they take birth on the pious heavenly planet of Indra, where they enjoy godly delights.
Hmm.
And verse 21. When they have thus enjoyed vast heavenly sense pleasure, and the results of their pious activities are exhausted, they return to this mortal planet again. Thus, those who seek sense enjoyment by adhering to the principles of the three Vedas achieve only repeated birth and death.
Yes. So here, two verses are speaking. What they are saying that uh, by a regular study of the Vedas, they understand uh, and they go to the heavenly planets. So so there are three levels. One is the material plane, called also as terrestrial plane, and then above that is the demigod plane, that is called as celestial plane, and above that is the spiritual plane, that is called as spiritual plane or transcendental plane. So terrestrial, celestial, and transcendental. So terrestrial means material, and celestial means higher material, but it is still material only. And spiritual or transcendental means higher than material, not material, but higher than material. So in these two verses, this is very clearly categorized now. Those who are on the material plane, they try to perform their life and make the best progress in the life, and to the better and better evolution, better and better perfection, person tries to be materially better, higher material understanding. Just like now, person may want to have money earning or lifestyle or the education in India, but he feels okay, this is not so high class, let me go to the some other land where the opportunities are more, where the money is available more, facilities are more. He may, on current situation, people want to go to US. And more than that also is beyond the earth planet, that is on the moon planet or sun planet or no other planets, where the heavenly planets, where the facilities are even more better than that. And but still, even after going to that level, the next verse will speaks about what? Shine punya bharta lokam vishanti. They will again come back, mm, down the gata gatam kama kana lavante, no? And yeah, Kshine Padne Murtilokam Vishanti. So they'll come back. So this is the emphasis here, that person may want to improve his life, his standard of life. He may do a lot of tapasya for that, lot of yajnas for that, and he may go from a lower material understanding to a higher material understanding and higher material pleasure. But still, material pleasures are material. They have their limits, and they will again end with that passage of time. But those who seek not uh, higher material pleasure, but higher than material pleasure. Hmm. Higher material pleasure means heavenly planets. Higher than material pleasure means the divine, the spiritual, the transcendental understanding. So this is how person can cross, person can go beyond it. So Prabhupada mentions the demigod worshippers worship Krishna only, but indirectly. As in a picture you see, this person is chanting, dancing, is doing Sankirtan Yagya, And the devatas are providing him all necessities. Surya, Chandra, Varuna, Indra, everybody is providing Lakshmi ji, everybody is providing his things to him. But they all also controlled by Supreme Lord Krishna beyond him. So they study Vedas, they drink Soma juice and seek heavenly planets. Uh, Path of demigod worshippers is like purified of sinful reaction. They take birth in the pious soul, heavenly planets, and where they greatly enjoy the delights there, whatever available, Nandan Kanan Garden, Somaras. But they have a light time limit. Once it is exhausted, they again come back. They return to this mortal place. So this is how they can just do repeated birth and death only. They cannot go beyond this material sphere. This is karma kanda, result of demigod worship. So even after knowing the study of the Vedas, person may try to understand the Vedas completely, and but he will still come to the understanding of three Veda means Prabhupada actually says actual Trivedis take shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna and engages in devotional service. So those who are the knower of the three Vedas called as three Vedis. So these three Vedis, they ultimately take shelter of the Supreme Lord because they understand Vedescha Sarver Ahameva Ved. But those who are only the official followers, they will not come to that understanding. But those who are sincerely practicing, they will understand, yes, by chanting the Hare Krishna and by cultivating knowledge about Krishna, he will slowly advance in his spiritual understanding. So, simply official students of the Vedas are only interested in sacrifice to demigods. So, there are two categories. One is ultimate goal, they understand what is the goal of three Vedas, and those who are only simply official students, अरे वेद अध्ययन करना है, follow करना है. So, they have not attained the perfection of the knowledge, which is to know the Supreme Soul. But they get only benefits like they get purified because they are practicing the process, and then they slowly get elevated to the higher understanding. But what is the disadvantage of even after going to the heavenly planets? It is like uh, cycle of birth and death, continuing Ferris wheel. Punarapi jananam, punarapi mandanam. Therefore, one should avoid by making spiritual progress and go back to Godhead. So this is we discussed till 21st verse, 22nd verse onwards. Now further elaboration will be there by distinguishing Ananyaschintayantama, and then again the demigod worship will continue explaining about demigod worship till 28th verse. So for now, today we'll stop here. If you have any question, we can take one or two. In Telugu, you have a question or is from previous reading?
Yes, Prabhuji, question. Prabhuji.
Yes, you can ask.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, in 17th shlokas per part, one line comes, Prabhupada writes, actually, any living entity being part and parcel of Krishna is Krishna.
Yes.
So it is little bewildering, little not too much bewildering. Ki, this is like every time Prabhupada ji refutes Mayavad and how living entity and Krishna is different. But this line seems that actually any living entity being part and parcel of Krishna is Krishna. So how living entity can be Krishna? Or it is just for qualitatively?
Yeah, it is a right understanding as you mentioned. Qualitatively, it is Krishna. Quantitatively, he is not a Krishna. The point, what the verse, what it says, Pitaham asya jagato mata dhata pitamaham. So all aspects are actually Krishna only. Just like in the that verse we saw, it is actually relationships of Krishna is more focused on this 17th verse. That all relationship in the material world are Krishna only. So he is connecting everything as a Krishna and able to see Krishna. Your point is when living entities are also said that they are Krishna, then it is bewildering. It is like Mayavad only. But it is in a right context is the qualitatively they are the same, and they are being a part and parcel. They are Krishna only, but their manifestation is in a different form. So, Krishna does not literally means that is a Tribanga Shama Lalitam Krishna, but he's a just like we talk about this thing, no, the fire and or iron rod which is fiery. It's like just like a fire only. It acts like a fire only. So similarly, the spirit soul also is a Krishna in the qualitative sense, not on quantitative sense.
Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
And
Understood.
also this gives a clarity on Achinta Bheda Bhed Tattva, how we are one but different. Tanishk Prabhu.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। मुझे ये 15th वर्स में आप बता रहे थे कि जो थर्ड वाला होता है, थर्ड वाले जो प्रैक्टिस होती है वो यूनिवर्सल
Vishwatomukham.
फॉर्म। यस प्रभु जी। So you were telling Praji that they worship material energy as supreme, and in the purport it is written like they worship the Vishnu form.
Yeah. Vishwarup form is also manifestation of matter of a separated energy of the Krishna. There are two things. Vishwarup comes at two different level. Bhagavatam will explain it. One thing is explanation of Vishwarup is that the the hills, the rivers, the hills are like a bones of the Lord, the rivers are like a veins of the Lord, right? And the trees are like a the Rome, or the hairs on the body of the Lord, like that it is mentioned. That is one understanding of Vishwarupa. By seeing the nature around, we understand that is a Vishwarup of the Lord. So, relating with the energy of the Lord, energy as a Vishwa, the manifestation as the Lord only. And second understanding of Vishwarupa is that all the controlling demigods of all the Prakriti, they are the parts of the Supreme Lord. Like sometimes on Bhagavad Gita, we see Krishna is showing the Virat Roop where he has thousands of mouth, thousands of heads, and thousands of hands, and the Agni is coming from his mouth. Everything is like that is also Vishwamukha. So what that matter, what I was talking about, is about uh, the nature, how it is also manifestation of Lord's energy, the separated energy, as a Vishwarup.
Okay, Praji.
Okay, so we'll stop here. If there are no questions, we'll continue. We'll continue on next Monday. Thank you. Hare Krishna.